Yeah, we talk grind, we talk gold, street hustle, rhythm control, ideas cooking flame on high, no shortcuts, just do or die, 86 opinions, both precision, no permission. We build a vision, we rise, we move, we own this lane, 86 opinions, remember the name. Real talk, no filters needed. If it's raw truth, we feed it.
Welcome back to the 86 Opinions podcast, where your opinion is not part of the recipe. So today we're going to talk about some absolute necessities in your marketing for your restaurant, food trucks, catering companies in 2025, going into 2026. And that is the fact that we have to start putting some software and some systems behind things. Owning and operating a restaurant, food truck in today's landscape is not for the weak of heart. We know how hard it is to absolutely stay on track, the operational side, the employees, getting product, the price of things going through the roof. Cost of goods in the restaurant industry has just skyrocketed in the last handful of years, and a lot of restaurants are hurting. Unfortunately, a lot of restaurants also don't know the way to get back on top of the game and be in the absolute best state that they can be, especially when it comes to their marketing efforts. So what we do here with the Digital Chef, 86 Opinions, White Bus Media, is we help implement marketing systems, and the systems that we implement are truly, truly, truly amazing to the owners that are using them correctly. We see people that are just saving themselves so much time, so much energy, having new customers walk in the door. It's like having an administrative assistant in your back pocket to handle all of your marketing. So when we take on a marketing adventure with a new restaurant or food truck, there's a few things that we look at. We want to make sure that this restaurant is acquiring social trust. We want to make sure they're building brand identity, and we want to work on their customer acquisition and retention. This is something that is, I don't want to say it's new to the restaurant and food truck world. This is stuff that has been going on for years. The difference in the landscape now is that the restaurants and food trucks that used to rely on word of mouth, the word of mouth is now being found online. And people always go to an online resource to check and see what reviews are of a place, what other people are saying about it. You don't necessarily need to have that word of mouth come from a family, a friend, a coworker, or anything in between like we used to back in the day. Now that word of mouth is being spread online through our online reviews. The amazing thing about software and strategies that we can put behind it is that we can set it up to where when somebody comes in and makes a purchase from your restaurant, we can automatically follow up with a text message or even an email. I think text messages definitely work better because everybody's tied to their phone. They're going to check that text message. They might see the preview text of an email and kind of gloss over it. You know, we all have thousands of unread emails if you're anything like I am. But with a text message, people open up that phone and they look at it instantaneously. They're going to check it out. So one thing that we utilize the system for is that specifically right there. We are going to take the system to automatically request a review when somebody comes in and makes a purchase, whether it be online or in-house, once we have their information. And we send out an automated text message that then asks that individual to leave a review to your establishment. And then a big thing about reviews is we don't just want the review. We want to make sure that the establishment is following up with that review and that we are absolutely utilizing a natural conversational tone and that we are capturing keywords to our business and that we are responding to the review in a professional, polite, courteous, friendly, insert whatever brand voice you want to hear, right? So utilizing AI to do this is top notch because what happens when somebody uses the bushub.io system especially is that we garnish that review. Say this customer goes to your Google reviews, they leave the review. The system automatically responds in your brand voice to make sure that there is a public response to that review. In addition to that, we then take the 5-star reviews and we will repurpose them as content onto all your social media channels. And when I say we, this is you and AI. We're just setting it up for you. So think about being able to sit in your actual restaurant, in your actual food truck. Somebody comes and eats, and next thing you know, bing, you got a review on your Google, on your Facebook, wherever you're garnishing them at, right? And then as soon as that review comes in, AI turns around, automatically responds to that review in your brand voice because it's trained to do that already. And then once you have that brand voice and that response, that gets pulled, and then all of a sudden, boom, there's a post on your social media saying, hey, we have a new 5-star review, because then other people that are following your social media can see that. It's never a question of should we be doing this or that. We believe it's always the question of you should be doing this and that. It's always and. More is better in business. Acquiring social trust and getting that word of mouth dialed in online is paramount to the success of a restaurant and food truck going into 2026. Not only for your customers to find you, but it helps in that brand identity, because in the world of AI that we're living in, AI has the capability of searching an entire internet within seconds to see who has the best hamburger in St. Louis, Missouri, or wherever your establishment may be set up, right? And that is powerful stuff. That's completely powerful stuff. Going into the brand identity, it takes work. Anytime that you're building a brand, it takes work. But I think it's important, especially for restaurant and food truck owners, to think back when you opened your restaurant or you opened your food truck. What did you do this for? Why did you get into this? What was your reasoning? Are you achieving those goals? Are you getting there? Building a brand is definitely the difference between owning your business and owning a job, right? Nobody wants to just own a job. I would venture to say that the majority of people listening to this podcast right now have no desire to just own a job. If you wanted to own a job, you would work for somebody else. If you truly want to grow a business and grow a brand, that brand identity has to speak for itself. The best way to do that is through organic social media, without a doubt. Organic social media is absolutely free. And we'll talk about a couple other ways too when we get there. Organic social media is absolutely free. There's no cost to it. All you have to do is take the time and put in a little bit of effort and get some content out there about your business and be consistent. Consistency, consistency, consistency. I don't think I can speak enough about consistency. It is paramount. So when I say consistency, what you should be looking at is the quarter ahead. So right now, for instance, I'm recording this podcast and it's November. So if I'm thinking about my content calendar and the campaigns and the promotions and everything that I'm going to run to help my brand succeed, I should not be looking at November, December. I should, especially November, December, I should 110% already have my own holiday plans, my own holiday specials, my holiday campaigns. All of those things should already be running in the background, and we're rocking on a daily basis. We're looking forward to the next quarter. We want to be looking at the calendar of like January, February, March. What holidays are coming up? What food holidays are coming up? What can we put our brand around and get behind? What community events are going on that we can put stuff into? Everything going on in your community is a gold mine for brand identity. And we'll get back into that grassroots here in a minute because it's very, very important. But putting out your content and scheduling that out in advance allows you to be prepared, allows you to be ready, and allows you to stop winging it. When you're winging it, you are simply spraying and praying and shooting by the seat of your pants, and there's never any metrics or follow-up on the back end. So if you put a campaign out or you put a post out or you put whatever, what's your ROI on that? What's your return on investment? How much money did that post make you? How are you tracking that? Are you tracking that? If you're not, it's imperative that we start getting on the right track to do so. I'm still new to this podcast game. I'm still trying to figure out, the best way to convey these messages. I have a tendency to not be the best conveyor, but you know what? I'm working on it. It's the same thing with your marketing. You're not the best at it, but you need to be working on it. Building brand with this technological revolution that we're getting into, building brand is the difference between somebody sitting at home and saying, hey, Alexa, I want you to order me a pizza tonight, or hey, Alexa, I want you to order me a pizza from Pizza Hut or the Digital Chef's Pizza Joint. The more that you can stay top of mind, the better off you're going to be. Think about Nike. Everybody has an impression when they hear Nike, right? When I said Nike, I guarantee you that a businessman in a suit that is a CEO in a skyrise in New York isn't what pops in your mind, is it? What pops in your mind is somebody athletic shoes, basketball, whatever it may be, but it was athletic. And you know why that is? Because Nike has brand behind it. So if you want your restaurant or food truck to be the Nike of the restaurant and food truck world, that's the of brand identity. We do this with bushub.io as well because we offer a social media planner that will literally act as your central hub for all your social media accounts. You can post in one spot and instantly have posts scheduled for TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, X, Threads, YouTube, LinkedIn, wherever you want your presence at. And it also captures all the responses and everything right there too. So it's amazing stuff for building your brand identity. So you go from acquiring social trust to building brand identity. The most important of these three is customer acquisition and retention, because you can do acquiring social trust, you can build your brand identity, but if that's not bringing customers in the door, it's not doing you any good. This is where we really push into getting the right campaigns for your brand out in front of people so that we can get people to come in, to try your food, to sign up for your VIP club, to take acceptance of a discount that we can text them the code because now we have the phone number and we can respond to you. So there's little things that you can do in this arena, whether you're a restaurant or a food truck. If somebody comes in and they enjoy your food, and you offer them a free appetizer on their next visit or whatever that may be, then let's just say I sign up for it. Now, the next time that I come to that window and I turn in my coupon for a free appetizer, everybody in my restaurant knows that it was my second visit because I brought the free appetizer, right? Just say after that, you say, hey, you know what? If you love the free appetizer, why don't I give you $5 off your next value meal? Why not? Now you know that when I come back and I bring that coupon back for the value meal, you know it's my third visit there because I gave you my information on the first visit, I took the free appetizer on the second visit, and I wouldn't have got the $5 off of value meal if I hadn't been there for the second visit. Obviously, we all could do math here. It's my third visit. Once you get a customer to come back 3 times to your establishment and they are blown out of the water all 3 times, you pretty much have a customer for life. And on top of that, you have the customer information because the customer gave up their cell phone number, right? So now you utilize that cell phone number throughout your monthly campaigns, everything that you have going. You're not going to inundate somebody completely, but you're going to send them just simple reminders that you exist. Part of the reason that we don't have repeat customers like we used to in the restaurant industry is that customers just forget that we exist. They don't take the same way home from work. Their algorithms have changed. That's a huge one when you talk about brand identity as well and rolling into the customer acquisition and retention, simply because the era that we're dealing with now is no longer social media. We've kind of converted into much more of an interest-based media, whereas my algorithm is going to show me what I am interested in. And that is why it is paramount when we go back to the brand identity, it's paramount that you're consistent and you're consistently putting out a lot of content each day because customers need to see you. If I happen to see one of your posts and I like it, and you're putting out 5, 6 posts a day, 7 posts a day, I'm going to start to see those handful of posts on that day, the next day. But if I start looking at your restaurant and I like one post and you're not putting out more content, and then I decide I like puppies and rainbows, I've just changed my whole algorithm to puppies and rainbows. So when you put out a post 3, 4, 5, 6 days later, I'm not seeing it. That's the problem in the restaurant industry. We are not being consistent enough and we're not capturing the attention the way it needs to be captured. And the biggest thing is that we're not recognizing it. We need to recognizing that these changes are taking place in the industry, and it's absolutely imperative that we can adapt. Taking a social media post that is organic, and then at the end of the month, going back and looking at all those organic posts and taking the one that absolutely did the best for us and putting $10 a day behind it in Facebook meta ads focused on 10 miles outside of the front door of our restaurant, you would be amazed at how well that does. This is just kind of a quick, brief overview of how we do this with White Bus Media, the Digital Chef, the American Streets. We're very much into the success and the ability of restaurants, food trucks, and service-based businesses to reach their specific target market. It's become imperative at a time where followers no longer mean what they used to on our social accounts. You know, it used to mean 10 years ago, 5 years ago even, I could put out a post and the majority of my followers would see it. But now that we are stuck in this interest-based media realm where we absolutely get our algorithm changed on the daily by what we search, what we look at, what we're interested in for that minute, your followers aren't seeing all your posts. So by being able to acquire the social trust and prove it online, build your brand identity by being active online, and using customer acquisition and retention by following up correctly and nurturing your customers to come back to remind them that you exist, you will be building a business that you can absolutely operate and work on because you have systems in place. Think about your kitchen. Nobody's going into their kitchen and winging it on a daily basis and hoping that your recipes come out the same, because if you are, you probably don't last very long in the food world. That's what we do with our marketing, though. We need to stop doing that with our marketing. We need to start paying attention to trends. We need to be open to change. A lot of restaurant owners, myself included, we've never really been open to change in the past, and that's coming to an end. We have to adapt to survive, and we have to realize that we're business owners first. Our business of choice just happens to be a restaurant. And as always, your opinion is not always part of the recipe. The same way that our customer's opinion is not part of our food recipes, our opinion on what technology and AI and where customers are placing their attention first and foremost, that's not part of that's a fact. That opinion is not part of our marketing recipe anymore. And we got to be able to get behind that. One thing that we have seen restaurants do, though, and I definitely want to touch on this, is if you are just completely uncomfortable in this whole entire realm, grassroots marketing, especially for restaurants and food trucks, can still get you by. And it's as important as ever. If you can be out and going to every single thing that your community offers, especially small communities, and you can be out there donating to all the things, supporting all the little leagues, a lot of this brand identity and social trust will work for you. But you got to be doing, it's never an or. Like I said before, it's not an or thing. If you were to ask me, should I be doing this or that? I would say you need to be doing both. You need to be doing both. However, if you're not doing anything, pick one. Pick one. Either go all in online or go all in on grassroots marketing. Once you get that down, then you can adopt the other one and put it towards your brand so that you can start owning a business and not owning your job.